This is Ukrainian television program Kontakt. Today we start the interview series about Taras Shevchenko Foundation Kobzar Book Award. And joining me from Ottawa, Dr. Lindy Ledohowski, English prof turned entrepreneur, a winner of Kobzar Book Award in 2018, a member of jury at some point on the same award, and also a member of the board of directors at Taras Shevchenko Foundation. Lindy, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much. It's lovely to be here.
Thank you for joining. Could you please tell us a little bit more about Kobzar Book Awards in general? How it started, who can submit, what are the rules?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much for the opportunity to talk about the Kobzar Book Award, which is a book prize that I really do love. And the impetus behind developing the Kobzar Book Award emerged from a desire to see many Ukrainian Canadian stories told and celebrated widely on a Canadian national stage and even beyond our borders internationally as well. And so there was this momentum and desire to find a way to build up a book prize that really foregrounded the Ukrainian Canadian experience. So I didn't know about the Kobzar Award until it had been running for a few years, and the award is given out every 2 years. There's a long list and a short list that then gets decided. But it was when we published our co-edited collection that won in 2018. We had published that book, and the opportunity was presented to us to submit for consideration for the Kobzar Book Award. And our edited collection, which has 10 pieces from a variety of different Ukrainian Canadian authors, and it's a really sort of different and radical piece, I thought, oh, for sure, we will never win, and then we were also pleasantly surprised with the win, and then as you say, on the subsequent round, I was invited to be a jury member, and sort of from that time on, 2018 onwards, I've been a big champion and supporter of this book prize.
So as you mentioned, in 2018, you won a Kobzar Book Award for the co-edited book Unbound Letters of Ukrainian Canadians. Can you please tell us, what does this award mean for the author?
Yeah, so it means a number of things. So firstly, there is a monetary prize. So there's a prize, and I believe the total is $25,000. $5,000 of that goes to the book publisher, with the idea being that the book publisher can use those funds to further promote the book, to market it, to work on expanded distribution channels, and then the prize itself goes to the authors. Now, in our case, we had 2 co-editors and a number of contributors, so we split it evenly amongst ourselves. But what it meant to me was, as I say, it meant that I then got more involved with the Shevchenko Foundation. So in 2021, I joined the board of the Shevchenko Foundation as a way to also give back a bit, as a result of being a prize winner and really kind of learning about the good work that the Shevchenko Foundation does, and to sort of be a part of this book project and book award in and of itself. For other authors, again, it's the first bit of recognition, the first sort of cash prize that you can get for an early book. For last year's winner, Mirna Kostash, it was a late in life validation of some of her work. And again, she, like we felt when we won, she hadn't expected to win and was pleasantly surprised.
And as you mentioned to me before, every winner sits on the next jury for this Kobzar Book Award, and you had the privilege to do this in 2020. Can you tell us, please, a little bit the work of the jury on that side? How does it look? How many books submissions you receive? How many jurors are usually on that board? Or maybe it's the same number, maybe different. And how does your work look from that side, who nobody sees?
Yes, yeah. A little look behind the curtain to see what the good work of the jurors is. So there's a program administrator, so somebody who is on contract to the Shevchenko Foundation who runs the whole program, and so she comes on board and finds the jurors outside of the one juror who is invited. Who's the previous winner who gets invited back to sit on the jury. Typically, the jurors come from the literary and writing community, so it may be other authors, it may be people from the publishing industry. Typically, the jury has about 3 people because, of course, you need to be able to tie break. Sometimes, depending on people's time commitments, there may be more, but typically the jury is about 3 people. We have the chair of the board of the Shevchenko Foundation who gets to sit in on the jury meetings, and 1 other board member, and so I've performed that function. And what's tough is we don't get a vote. We have to just sit there and sort of listen to the jury deliberations, but kind of make sure that they're in keeping with the criteria that they've been given. So every juror is given a scorecard with the kind of criteria that we're looking for the book award. And so principally, it's the quality of the writing, the contribution of the story, the quality of the book itself, things even in terms of, is the production quality good, are some of the things that we're looking for in terms of determining, who is that Kobzar Book Award winner on every second year.
Well, thank you very much. And this year, in the shortlist, there are 3 books of 3 different genres. It's a creative nonfiction, graphic novel, and the academic research book. Can you please, this makes it probably very challenging to the juries. What do you think about the process there?
Yeah, and again, I have the amazing books, as you say. So there's, the creative nonfiction, the graphic novel, and the academic book, and those are this year's 3 shortlisted Kobzar Award shortlisted books. And one of the things that, in my view, makes the Kobzar Award such an excellent prize is that it isn't genre specific. It's not just an award for the best scholarly book. It's not just an award for the best book of poetry. It's not just an award for the best book of plays. It is open and allows for, in each subsequent round of submissions, a variety of different kinds of books to be considered. So that's great because it means, in my view, you have more opportunities for more stories, more ways of being Ukrainian Canadian, more ways of expressing Ukrainian Canadianness across multiple genres, or even genres that themselves are often less restricted. So I love that. It's diverse, it's interesting. The flip side is it makes the job of the jury really, really tough because you are comparing 3 books, or in this case they ended up with 3 books, but you're comparing, multiple books, and each year it depends how many books have been published in the previous 2 years to be considered. So, you could have 10 books, you could have 15 books, you could have 18 books, depending on how many of them are submitted for consideration. And then that gets whittled down to the short list, and they can be of all different genres. So it's really tough to then compare apples to oranges and determine which book ends up being the winner. And I'll be honest, typically what happens with the juries is that there's usually quick agreement to get to the top handful. Typically the jurors are able to either make, very rationed, sophisticated arguments, or just intuit, hey, these ones are really the best. And then where the bulk of the jury conversation ends up unfolding is, how do you take that handful of books that are really the best of any given submission year and determine a winner? And that's where, the jury discussions and debates get heated sometimes. Last year we had to come back and, have a second sort of meeting to really sort of flesh things out. So the jurors have been really spectacular in taking their job very seriously, to honestly read these books closely, engage with them, and then come up with what they believe is the winning book on any given award cycle.
Oh, thank you. Let's wish them all the best, all three authors. Good luck at March 26th at the gala presentation. What's next for Kobzar Book Awards?
Yeah, so, well, you've started it by, so the what's next is the gala presentation, so March 26th, 2026 in Winnipeg at the Canadian Museum for Human Rights. So the jury, the shortlisted candidates, as well as members of the board will all be able to be in attendance as the winning announcement gets made. So that's the next and most exciting thing in the Kobzar Book Prize cycle. And then again, in 2 years, so any books published between 2026 and 2028 can end up being eligible for the 2028 Kobzar Book Prize. Previously, one of the things that's interesting is we used to hold the Gala Awards in Toronto, both last time and this year, as I mentioned, the Gala Award is being held in Winnipeg. So we'll see if it stays in Winnipeg, if it travels to someplace else across the country. Those are all sort of open questions as to what's next.
That sounds very exciting. I wish it would be in Toronto. Lucky Winnipeg crowd. As publishing industry evolves, there are more and more books which come out, like great reads, which come out not from the mainstream publisher, but maybe self-published. Is the Kobzar Book Award considering maybe changing the rules a little bit to include those authors as well?
Not at present. At present, there hasn't been any discussion to sort of get the self-published books. And again, in part, it's to really support that mainstream, get those big publishing houses behind Ukrainian Canadian stories. That's really sort of at the heart of the Kobzar Book Award, is really celebrating those books and bringing those stories into a more mainstream audience, getting more people to hear and learn about us. But you never say never. I mean, the program and its criteria are always evolving. That's one thing that is, again, really great about the Shevchenko Foundation, is that it is really open to seeing what's next and what happens in the book industry and the literary fields. So you never know, and as I say never, but no immediate plans to change the criteria for the award at the moment.
Well, Lindy, thank you very much for your time and for your interview, and all the best with your work.
Of course, thank you so much.
And to our viewers, Kobzar Book Award presentation is happening on March 26th at the Canadian Museum of Human Rights. And for tickets and more information, please visit kobzarbookaward.com.